Hello, second grade. So if you missed our Zoom call for any reason, so if you were testing, or if you just didn't log back on, which make sure we are logging back on, it's really important that you guys are on our Zooms, okay? We are talking a little bit about Constitution Day. So we talked before our Zoom kind of started glitching and we had to restart it about what Constitution Day might be. So we talked about how maybe it means we're talking about war, or maybe it's talking about the United States, because some of us haven't heard of Constitution Day, and that's okay. So we are going to read this story, and we are also going to talk a little bit about it. So Constitution Day is a day to celebrate and talk about the Constitution. And I know what you're thinking, Miss Tinsley, if I don't know what the Constitution is, how am I supposed to know why we're celebrating it? So the Constitution was a big piece of paper that 39 men signed. So our Constitution is a list of rules and different things that they created to help us live the best life we can in our country of America. So we are going to go through exactly what that means. And what's crazy is our Constitution was made, or it was created and signed 233 years ago. Isn't that a super long time ago? It was written and it was signed on September 17th, 1787. So a long time ago. So we are going to read this book, We the Kids, the preamble to the Constitution of the United States. I'll try to show you the pages as best I can. So illustration and foreword by David Catrow. So I'm going to read the bottom of this because this is a long page, okay? So we are going to read, for me, the Constitution is a kind of how-to book, showing us ways to have happiness, safety, and comfort. Sounds like common sense, right? But a couple hundred years ago, those things weren't common at all. For instance, back then, if you said or wrote something and the people in charge didn't like it, they could put you in jail. Could you imagine going to jail for something that you said or because you wrote something and they didn't like it? I'm actually going to put this here so we can see. So they could stick you in jail, or they could put tar, which is just a really sticky substance. They could put tar and feathers all over you. Ouch. Now, even though a lot has changed, it has been 200 years, if you listen, the rules in our Constitution still make good sense. And tar is used to make highways, and feathers are strictly for birds. So we are going to look at some of our definitions first. So preamble means the first part of something, an introduction. So this is kind of the preamble to the Constitution. We, the people of the United States, all the people in the country, including kids, in order to form a more perfect union, which means to come together and make things better for everyone who lives in our country. That means it doesn't matter if you were born here or if you moved here or anything. If you live here, it means you deserve the same rights as anyone else, okay? So we're going to keep going. Establish justice to make things fair and honest for everyone. Ensure domestic tranquility. And I know these are some pretty big words. That's because it was written over 200 years ago, and they used different language back then. To make sure we can all have a nice life and get along with one another. That is super important. Provide for the common defense. To protect us from other people or countries who might try to harm us, as in a war, and to help us if we have been harmed. Promote the general welfare, to make life good for everybody. Having enough to eat, a place to live, being safe, and having friends and fun times are some of the things that make our lives good. And secure the blessings of liberty, to protect our rights and freedoms and not let anyone take them away. Being able to choose our religion, to say what we think, and to get together with friends, family, and other people are some of the freedoms we have. To ourselves and our posterity, for kids, parents, other grown-ups, and all the people born in our country after we are. Because when they first created this, they didn't know that we would exist 200 years later in 2020, right? So they were writing it for everyone that came after them. Do ordain and establish this Constitution to write down and then to live by. A list of rules and promises for our government to keep and our people to obey. For the United States of America, our country, where we live. These big words express big ideas. Check out what the dog is doing in the story, and we can only see his bottom right now, but we'll see the rest of him later. He will also help you understand what they mean. So our first page looks like this. So we can see there's our dog. We the people of the United States. There we have some little friends reading their map. In order to form a more perfect union, here's our pup over here. He's doing all the work. Establish justice, and they created their own constitution, their own set of rules. So we can see number 1 is fair, 2 is share, 3, no pulling hair. Ensure domestic tranquility. Look how peaceful they all look. Provide for the common defense. So here we can see our dog protecting their tent. Promote the general welfare. There's our dog with a silly mask on. And secure the blessings of liberty. To ourselves and our posterity. Do ordain and establish this Constitution. So here we can see everybody in the town. For the United States of America. The end. So that is a little bit about our Constitution. And on Seesaw, you are actually going to help us create our own classroom constitution. So that means you are going to create up to 4 different rules that you think might be good for our class. And then we're going to come back together later and we're going to talk about all of them and create our own classroom constitution that we are going to listen to and follow and put on our PowerSchool page.